All right, welcome into the Bite Me podcast. Just a couple of minutes late, a little technical difficulty there, but no harm, no foul. Glad you guys are joining. How you fellas doing today? Y'all all look like you've had a rough day. I mean, Dean's lagging. We got to get the energy up. Caleb says his computer's lagging, and Scott is fresh off the tractor. Are we good? Are we got the energy going today?
Good as it's going to get.
Oh, okay, I guess that's all I needed to hear right there. This is the Bite Me podcast. Of course, you know what to do. Subscribe if you have not already, and you can do that wherever you get your podcast, whether it's YouTube, not YouTube, whether it's Podbean or iTunes, Spotify, whatever. You can watch live on YouTube right now, and that's what we're doing with some of our fine folks here at 3:30 on a Tuesday, as we always do. And don't forget to join the Bite Me group page. A couple things to get going here, and then we'll get right to the fellas. Happy Veterans Day. If you listen to this podcast at all, you know we are all for very much entrenched and in support of all the great things that some great organizations do, like Heroes on the Water, like Texas Boys Outdoors, with all the veterans and first responders everywhere. And so I want to say happy Veterans Day to everyone. And I want to start here because we're going to start with where the captains were, how they did, and what they noticed, because I think it's a good time to do it, especially with the drastic temperature and wind changes, etc. But I'm going to start with, we're going to get into some interesting stuff, including the craziness going on in Louisiana, and tragic story again, which we're getting tired of talking about, but we feel like we need to. A bunch of things that anglers tend to forget and so on. But I want to start with Captain Dean Thomas because you had a newbie on. You had the newbie on your boat today. Sounds like they looked like they killed it. You never forget your first, man. How was it with those? That was fun to watch.
It was good. And yeah, I had some amazing conditions for sting fish, catching fish, low tide, cold weather. Actually, it was pretty interesting today with the water being as cold as it was.
What was it?
Guys, well, it started out at 56 degrees.
The water
temperature was 56, 57. By the end of the day, which we got off the water just about 30 minutes ago, was up to like 64. So as the surface water warmed up and as it blew, and so the protected shorelines were still colder. The shorelines that the very light wind was what it was blowing that surface water, and it was almost 10 degrees warmer on the other shorelines. So pretty interesting. But yeah, first time throwing plastics, first redfish, and caught some badass fish. Saw way more than we actually caught.
Yeah.
Slick water, beautiful sun, clear skies, and the fish we saw cruising the flats. I'm kind of, I'm headed out to the ranch for the next week, but the next few days, as this water warms up and the tide is low, should be amazing. We're getting closer. We're getting past the full moon, actually past the third quarter. So, man, the next week, if the conditions stay the way they are, it should be. I got to go hunting because I got to.
You gotta.
It's a short season, man.
You gotta. It was well. We'll get to what would Scott do and Dean and maybe Caleb. He's having a couple of computer issues, Wi-Fi issues, but he should be joining us. You made a fan for life. I mean, they're catching their first big redfish with you. It got me thinking about, and this is a loaded question, of course, but you never forget your first, and
so these guys actually just relocated to the coast from Weatherford, Texas. Really cool people. They made their spent 20 something years in cutting horses competition, raising horses. Had a lot of cool stories about the rodeo days and the horses and traveling and doing all the things they did. They retired from that, moved to the coast, bought a boat, and so they're learning how to fish the flats.
All right, so it did get me thinking before we get into what you guys saw and where you were. I'm not saying you got to remember your first fish, but do you remember the fish that got you hooked? Like you can go back to that day, because I do. When I was looking at, you sent me that picture, sent us that picture, and I remember standing. My dad was this is for all three of you guys. Scott, I'll go to you first. But I'd caught some fish, obviously, before, but I was probably 7, 8 years old. And my dad was a civil service worker, so we could get into the Naval Air Station. He could drive on and we get into that. Is that big concrete pier there still? I don't know if it is or not. There's a big concrete pier. And I remember we both caught, I don't know how big they were, but they were big trout to me. And I'm like, I was just hooked for life. I mean, do you remember, Scott, like as many millions of thousands of fish that you've caught? You remember the one that just got you in?
I kind of remember a trip that did. I wasn't real big at all, walking the jetties with my dad, walking him and his buddies. And we walked all the way out to the boat cut on the North Jetty in Galveston, hopping rocks, and just got into a load of fish. I mean, mostly Gulf trout, like we talked about a few weeks ago.
Right.
And the spotless speckled trout. But yeah, I remember that one pretty clear.
That's where we all started, pretty much.
First fish was on my uncle's place.
Oh, you remember your first? I don't remember my first fish.
Little perch. Just I remember watching the bobber bounce around and go under.
Holy smokes! Sure, what a popping cork.
And we ate it. A little red and white bobber. We were camping on my uncle's place on his creek, and sitting down there at the creek, put a cricket on or a grasshopper. Got my first little perch.
Caleb, I know it's a little different for you because you were a freshwater guy, I guess, early on. But I vividly remember the first big trout I caught it was over. I mean, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars later, here we are.
Oh, it's going to be way different for me. I just learned that back when Scott was a kid, memory loss wasn't even invented yet. That's impressive.
He remembers his first fish. That is impressive. I don't.
There he was.
I remember the one that got me going.
No, mine weren't exciting. I don't know how to. I sit on the bank of a pond and caught sun perch with my dad when I was a little kid. We did it just about every day, and moved on up from there. But those are my first fish and first experiences there.
Yeah. How about you, Dean?
Man, I don't remember much. I do remember one.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
One of the most. It's weird how you can't remember that, but you remember Errol kind of the weird stuff. One of the first impressions when I was a kid growing up on Chocolate Bayou was fishing with my dad and his buddies and their ability to just load the boat with trout. So that's where it all started. But the one impressionable fish was whenever I bought my place in Matagorda. And I swear, why I remember this fish, I have no idea. But I had a camp. I was 18 years old. It's the first thing I ever bought. And we were down there fishing on the lights at night on the pier. And it was one of those nights where you could just throw a topwater anywhere in the river and it would just explode. I mean, they were fighting over it. And when we went out there that night, I don't know if it was one specific fish or just that experience. It left an impression that one wasn't enough, and then 100 wasn't enough.
Yeah, and then it's over. And how much money have you spent since?
Oh, I'm in the po house.
So yeah, it did get me thinking about that. And I do want to get where you guys were, how you did, what you noticed, but with a specific thought of, man, we had some weather. Man, we had some weird weather since we last spoke. Cold, and then wind, and then now it's going to heat up again. Scott, you're nodding your head. I mean, I honestly don't know. Dean's talking about the next few days should be really good. I'm going to take his word for that, and we'll get to it on what would Scott do and Dean and Caleb. But I mean, what is this? I'm going to get very, very philosophical here. What does it mean? What did it mean, this crazy weather in terms of on the water this weekend and moving forward?
I think fall is officially here now. I mean, that was a good serious temperature drop. It got down to like 58, 59 here on the water temperatures. Tide dropped out pretty good. That front had a little bit of east in it, so we didn't get that big tide dump like we normally get. It went back to about normal tides, maybe a little lower. but it's already climbed up. I was checking a minute ago, almost 69 degrees already back over here on the water temps.
Mm.
So that's going to yo-yo. I mean, just like this weather. The fronts seem like they're coming about every 5-6 days, and that's usually the sign that fall is really here. It's not a
Yeah.
false fall this time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Caleb, you were killing me, man. Tell me what you were doing this week, because the one thing I miss, now that I'm down south, is those birds, man. I don't care if they're little trout. I don't care if they're big trout. Well, I do care if they're big trout, but you posted a video of those birds, and I don't know if that was working birds or just happened to be, doing something else, feeding on something else. But is that happening now, hot and heavy?
I don't know if the hot and heavy is the answer. The video I posted, that was birds working a little pod of 6 or 8 redfish, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing to me is that front ripped in on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, Tuesday, and then we went out and we fished Thursday and Friday. I was in Back Lakes and in the middle of the bay, and Pat was on the south shoreline,
Mm-hmm.
and I only saw shrimp in one spot, and Pat was up in drains on the south shoreline with a bunch of marsh behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and said he didn't see a single shrimp, and that kind of freaked me out. I was like, oh, what kind of catastrophe do we have going on now?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of slow Thursday, it's kind of slow Friday, kind of slow Saturday. Sunday got better, and Monday, boom, there was birds working all over the place and redfish schools and all that kind of fun stuff. And then Tuesday, it tapered back off. I still had some redfish schools, but the birds weren't all over the place in the bay on Tuesday. There was a couple after lunch, full moon bite. So there was, we found some birds starting about 1 o'clock. They were sitting on the bay floating all day long. Like the birds are just like us. They're tapping their foot saying something's got to give. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
But leading all that into the ups and downs, the cold and the warm, and the cold and the warm.
Yeah.
November and December are 2 of my favorite months to fish because the redfish do cool stuff. And what I've noticed over the years when I'm patterning them to schedule trips and get customers on schools of fish is that front will come through and it'll drop that water temperature, and they'll go for a couple of days. And as it gets warmer and warmer and warmer, it'll fizzle out. And the cold front comes, and they go to the point that for me to get really excited about the day, I want that water temperature to be about 65 when the morning starts. If I can keep the water temperature between about 62 and 68, it seems like those schools really do their thing. It gets hotter than 68, gets up in the 70s. They seem to really slow down. And when it gets colder than that, it's a little bit hit and miss too. So
that also depends on the bay system, though, right? Because Dean, I think ours are more in the lower 70s when it really gets going, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm talking about schools of red crushing shrimp in the mud and stuff.
Gotcha.
And as I'm listening to Caleb, I'm sitting here thinking the rhythm here is a little different, because the day of or right after the front is always going to be a little more challenging, but you get 3 or 4 days after that on a warming trend, and then that's when everything tends to go crazy. Quite a few days afterwards when the water start warming up. But
well, see, and I think that's the difference in our bay systems. When we have those cold after the fronts, there's yummy little shrimp scurrying around everywhere, and I think it gets them going up here. James Plog and I had a couple long conversations about it, and he's in Galveston, I'm in Matagorda, and we're seeing the same thing. That 60 mid 60s water temperature seems to really get them going. Now, the day after the front last week, or 2 days, or 2 weeks ago, because I went on the show last week. I was fishing last week, right? And Scott said, Dad, 2 days after the front's probably going to suck. It did, but there wasn't shrimp. There wasn't shrimp everywhere. We can get those shrimp moving back and forth. Then the days after the front seem to do all right for me. I rely on those days. That's when the wind's still. I want 5 or 6 miles an hour or less. Those are the only days I have, or those dead ones a couple days after the front.
Yeah. So Scott, I'm kind of channeling Caleb's angler you here, but in terms of like a report this week, where are you finding them? Because I know a lot of our listeners, Veterans Day today, a lot of people took off. Maybe they're saving it for later in the week, and the erratic temperatures and water temperatures and winds, like we were talking about. Where would you find them?
Yeah, on the flats, up shallow later in the afternoon. Yeah. morning trip, maybe not. But between this past week, between the full moon and the colder water, it was much better to be out there later in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you this. We talked about this a little bit last week. I'm a big fan of afternoon and evening bite. I mean, is that a game plan right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you got, if your timing works out for that, of course, with this time change, you ain't got a whole lot of afternoon to work with.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you what it does. It beats the hell out of an afternoon trip in August.
Yeah, you're darn right it does.
Well, we've officially hit the it could be good all day time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I agree with that one.
What were you finding today in terms of the fish, D?
The early
I know
morning
it's mostly
bite,
flats, but yeah.
Well, actually, and I went to the drop. So early morning, we had some great redfish up shallow. It kind of tapered off. If I would have stuck with it and just stayed where I was, we probably could have had some fish. But like I said, the guys that were with me, they moved down here. They wanted to learn about the bay. They actually have their own boat. So we explored a little bit. We took a little ride. I did go out to the drop-offs, caught nothing but little dink trout. Didn't really spend more than 15 or 20 minutes there. So hopped around a little bit. And then came back to the flats, and those reds were still cruising. But the early morning bite was good. And then after we went and ran around for an hour or so, and then came back to the grass beds, we saw way more fish cruising than we caught at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end, from like 1 o'clock or from 1 to 2 o'clock, we had a pretty good flurry right at the end.
Yeah. I am going to transition here because this is just all kind of what happened this week, and then we'll get into some of the other topics. But I did send you guys the link, and it got me thinking. There was the story is a 12-year-old child and died, and a 6-year-old. I don't know the condition right now. Is still hospitalized, along with 4 out of 6 first responders. I think it was Coast Guard. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong here. The boat tumbled into some rocks off of the Texas City dike. And it really got me thinking more about this, and just kind of as something we want to talk about and let our listeners in on. These kids were playing on a boat ramp. And then obviously the rocks, are the rocks Scott was talking about earlier, with his dad and hopping over the rocks and all that. I think we tend to forget, Scott, like the most dangerous places isn't always running your boat in chop or whatever bad storm pops up. It's right there where we launch and where we walk on the rocks. I can't tell you of all the times that I can remember, either taking a tumble or losing my footing or whatever. It's usually been around a boat ramp or on the jetties, and people just tend to forget that. I mean, it's just slick. There's cracks and crevices, and I mean, obviously this is absolutely tragic. I mean, in so many ways, especially with the first responders.
Texas City dike's dangerous as hell. I mean, you got all that open water on both sides. So when it's windy, I would imagine that's probably what that was. As much wind as we've had last few days, it gets really rough along there. Plus, you got all the ships coming and going up and down the ship channel, and that's a long ways away. But it sure creates an undertow around the base of the rocks over there.
Yeah,
around that Mosquito Island area, somebody drowns there every couple of years, or 2 or 3 of them a year. There's a lot that can go on there. That ramp over there, I never have liked that ramp.
So how did the child just fall in the water? From reading the story, I never could find out how he got in the water.
I don't know, but they were apparently playing on the boat ramp somehow, or near the boat ramp somehow, and then got swept away. Parents, I don't know if they were messing with the boat or if they were doing something else. They realized that they couldn't see their kids anymore, called 911. Then it was real windy, as Scott said. The Coast Guard, I'm just saying Coast Guard for now, it might have been county sheriff or something like that, went after them, and their boat, because of the wind, got caught up and rolled over into the rocks. And I think all 6 of them went in, and 4 of them, as of yesterday, were still hospitalized. So I was just like, man, you think that's the safest place, just to get down there? That's one of the places where stuff like this happens all the time.
Yeah, reading on it, it says it was Texas City Police firefighters and EMS.
Okay.
were there. And
It's
one of fierce winds slammed one of the rescue boats into the rocks, flipped it just as they were pulling juveniles from the water.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
that went bad real fast.
and it also goes the other. Go ahead.
You were talking about, I mean, the amount of wind right there. If it said it was at the boat ramp, which is on the kind of the northeast side, and we had northeast winds. The amount of rough that was going on around there, that's not the place to be.
Yeah. And the other thing, I mean, any of you can hop in on this with your thoughts, but how many rescues, how many bad water conditions, weather conditions have those guys been in? I mean, that's what they do. They had that big boat and it flipped over. I mean, it was just, sort of a cautionary tale, as they say,
Everything I'm reading on it's all about the same. Read from several different ones. There's not a whole lot of new information on it. It does sound like they had gotten to them, which that's going to be the rough part on those first responders. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
They had gotten to them and were pulling them into the boat when it got in the rocks and flipped.
Well, Caleb, I mean, the thing about it is we see it and we kind of have fun with it. Boaters that are maybe, doing the wrong thing, handling waves and wind the wrong way, or taking a risk that is too much. But I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just one of those things that if you think, think about these dudes that did it for a living and still got rolled into the rocks.
Yeah, man, stuff happens fast. I think a lot of us have had our boats blown into or pushed into. Nature has got the better of us in some form or another, and it's just a incredibly unfortunate situation on this one.
Yeah, and Dean, I've been over on some places near the Corpus Christi channel. Those tankers are a mile away, and I'm not exaggerating. And you're just sitting there, and it's already past you. And all of a sudden, you start seeing, you got to keep your head on a swivel. You start seeing 3 and 4 foot waves coming at you.
And just in general, people take it for granted, that it's going to happen to the other guy, or they don't realize the danger, or they see the fun in it more than the danger. And they don't recognize the potential. That was on a bad day. I mean, weather-wise, treacherous conditions. I mean, unfortunately, right here in our channel, in the Aransas Pass channel, I mean, there is a death or two every year. There's been people that have been tossed out of the boat on relatively clear, calm days without a kill switch on, without a life jacket. And, that has happened not that long ago, but just I mean, it is inherently dangerous to be running across the water in a boat. And it is, so many people do it every day without incident. It's easy to take it for granted that it's safe. And but when things like this happen, somewhere else I've read today on Lake Livingston, I think they're still searching for the people. They were fishing by the dam on Lake Livingston. It's something windy. I don't know if the boat capsized. I don't know what they were in, but there's an active search going on there at the moment. And then there was that one, and I believe I heard about another one here in the wind the last couple of days, an incident. So
there was the McNeil ramp.
Where?
The McNeil ramp, and I don't know if it's the same McNeil ramp that I'm thinking of that's right down the road from here, but there's a fella missing, and they found his boat like 500 yards from the ramp.
Well, that's the other.
That's going right now too.
It's the other thing going on with the weather changes that we're having right now. But
and every winter, as we're sitting here doing this podcast, we talk about those fronts that are going to catch you unexpectedly. The ones that you're out there, it's a bluebird day. Here comes this wall of wind, or you see people launching a boat going out in weather as you're running from the weather, and you're like, man, that's just not a wise decision. But it happens way too often.
Yeah.
You mean like me and you and the
Look,
rescues?
Okay. Well, first of all, you were acting as a first responder. I was just along to bring the snacks.
Well,
I'll never forget that day launching and that
happened?
lady, the people coming in on the other boat, and the lady was grabbing a hold of the dock and holding on for dear life. And I mean, she was just white as a ghost.
And she had her orange life jacket that had never been from underneath the deck since they owned the boat.
And we're
What
launching.
happened?
We were
What
we were
happened?
rescuing people.
Oh,
So
like
that
legit?
was May the 4th. It was whenever the kayak tournament was in Aransas Pass, 60 plus mile an hour wind hit like 3 or 4 hours ahead of schedule. So all of these people got stranded on the water. Me and Scott made it in through the worst weather I have ever witnessed in my life. We paddled in. We had the wind behind us. Straight to the house, grabbed the boat, went to the boat ramp. We were launching. And I mean, people were literally ditching their boat. They were running them up on the banks. They just wanted the hell out of there. It was that bad. And that lady was clinging onto that pole, and I looked at her and I was like, nice day for a boat ride.
While he had an open can of mandarin oranges and eating them.
Eating on like nothing happened.
Yeah, no big deal.
You can't go out there on an empty stomach.
Well,
You got to have your energy in a first responder role.
We were taking so much damn water over the sides. I mean, it was rough.
man.
And,
Yeah, and me and Scott went across that bay. We went across, hugged up against the bridge on the south side because the wind was blowing from the north. Made it to B&R Flats. I don't remember who we brought in from that side, and then we got that done, and then we went all the way to Trailer Island across Estes Flats.
Just
A
getting
game warden boat had like 14 people on it, and when they pulled in, it rolled over, almost capsized, and tossed all the people out of the boat.
Oh my God!
Brown Harbor.
and the harbor.
How come I'm just hearing this story for the first time?
That was all buddies. A bunch of buddies of ours were on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben was one of the ones that got tossed out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Thorsten was on that boat also.
Damn. Well, I'm glad you kind of lightened the mood a little bit here because I did want to share that, but we want to have fun on this podcast every week. And speaking of which, was it Caleb or was it Scott that sent the "How should tournament cheaters be reprimanded" link to me? Was that you, Scott?
Yeah, I sent it over.
Did you see it, Caleb?
I did. I did.
Are you willing to do what the guy suggested?
Yeah.
Twist his
manhood off is what
twist it off. He kept saying, twist it off.
He said it should be done. He just didn't want to be the one to do it.
That's what I said. I said I'm not afraid of the I'm not against the reprimand. I just don't want to be the one doing it. But, you know,
you could be like that hangman dude where they put the mask on him and then nobody knows who did it.
But he'll
The
always
executioner.
I don't know. It just made me laugh and I wanted to bring it up. So as long as I'm not doing the twisting, but what are outside of charges, you know, like we saw the guys with the walleye, I think it was whatever fishing was up north. You know, what does, I've always wondered what does happen.
They take your fishing privileges for life.
Should they take your license?
Oh, they do that.
They do that?
Yeah.
They send you home a felon.
No, that part I know. Like you can be, because of the money involved. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about like from a tournament perspective, Caleb. Like, is it just other than shame? You know,
You can't fish a tournament with a gun.
because you're a felon.
You get caught in just about any tournament. You get blackballed from a whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time to recover and even be able to enter one again.
And of course, I wanted to take it here as well. So, Caleb, I'll stay with you. Whether they were proved to have been cheaters or not, what's the worst cheat? You know, like in your mind, what's the worst cheating episode you've experienced of someone else?
Worst cheating episode I've experienced. I mean,
Like you knew that something was up. Scott's chomping at the bit. He's got one. He's got one.
I bet I know what story Scott's going to tell.
I mean, yeah, and it's been more of a. I've never fished against anything egregious. There was one dude that brought in a frozen redfish, and his eyes were like the whites of his eyes were like dull red, looked like red crayon, and I was like, man. There's something weird looking about that fish. That one don't look like it came from today. And then when it was like an 11.5-pound slot, it got even more suspicious. But that was like a little mom and pop's tournament. It is what it is. The stuff I fish, you don't see anything egregious. You see somebody got protested because somebody they got out of the boat 3 minutes too early to wait or something, and
yeah.
That's about it. Yeah,
that's the high level stuff, and a lot of times you have marshals or certainly video and all that. You're right though. The mom and pop tournaments, those are the worst ones.
Oh, like, they're loaded.
They are loaded with cheaters.
It's like playing carny games. Yeah, no, I want an expensive entry fee and I want a polygraph if I'm going to go put my time into it.
Yeah,
because those ones where they know there's no repercussions, there's always going to be somebody messing about.
I want to hear your story, Scott, but when Caleb said that, I was thinking of a tournament. That's been decades, probably 20 years ago. I was in one of these small tournament charity, the charity tournament, air quotes. And I was fishing the day before. This is when I was in Matagorda. I wasn't in Sabine yet. It was the first time I was in Matagorda with my trailer. And I was fishing a tournament there. And I'd fished the day before, whatever, scouting and all that stuff. And at the boat ramp, I heard somebody talking behind me saying, well, you got to put the redfish underneath the ice and then their eyes won't glaze. And the trout, you got to wrap them in, I don't know if he said cellophane or something, and put them in your freezer and then just use them. I mean, he had the whole system down. Use them as the ice, put all the fish back in and he goes, and they'll never catch you. They'll never catch you. And I'm like, this guy has got to be in the tournament tomorrow. Sure enough, the next day, first place, and nobody. And I guess I shouldn't say this, but
name names. Are you a punk?
I wish I knew their names. I knew their names. And I'm like, so you're going to the extreme of putting the redfish under ice, putting the trout in, I think it was cellophane, like saran wrap or whatever, and plastic wrap, and in the freezer, taking them out the next day, going and doing whatever, and turning those fish in. That's the extent you're going to cheat in this tournament. I mean, I was just blown away. What's your story, Scott?
Well, before Scott gets there, that's one of the less involved ones that we've heard about.
In terms of complexities?
All those dudes is get a fish and freeze it overnight. You got to see what the guys that keep them alive go to.
Go ahead, Scott.
We had quite a few in the kayak world. I mean, it was ridiculous. But the main one that Dean started laughing about, and I started laughing about, was over in Orlando. We were over there fishing the big tournament. Camille's over here telling me, no names. But, a fairly famous guide over there who didn't kayak fish decided to get in the tournament along with a sports writer. Sports writer.
You can't trust him.
The way the tournaments worked, you had to launch from a public launch. Just to make it fair and even, it had to be a public place. You couldn't go into your buddy's backyard and launch. Because in Florida, I mean, everybody's got house on the water and all that. Well, this dude went to a neighborhood and launched in the neighborhood, and was where a whole bunch of other people wanted to go fishing. And it was obviously a really good spot. And by the time these other guys got there, this guy was already bagged up a whole bunch of fish. And they were well in the lead of the tournament. While they're out there fishing, this guy, one of the neighbors, comes walking out there, one of the guys in the neighborhood, and says, start in no polite way, whose truck's parked in my driveway, and or in front of my house, in my driveway, whatever it was. And that guy paddles over there, and he tries to get away with it, and everybody else is watching him. They're all filming.
They knew it. Yeah.
Some of them are, I mean, there's people all around. It was really before we had cell phone videos and stuff, but there was plenty of witnesses. And he goes over to the guy and offers him a free fishing trip if he'll just not say anything. And so it kind of went away.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the weigh-in. Of course, it hadn't gone away there, and there was 80-something people in the tournament, and they were all kind of fired up, ticked off. And we told the tournament director. He asked me and Dean, he's like, "What do I do? You know, and what do I do with this? You can't do anything. But this could, you know, you gotta
Twist his, you know what, off.
You gotta kick them out of the tournament. You can't let them win the tournament."
Yeah.
Well, he walked away saying, "Okay, I'm gonna do the right thing." Well, in his mind, I guess the right thing was to leave him alone and let him win. And, the kicker of it was when they announced his name, all the guys stood up and turned their backs to the stage.
Oh, that's good.
Everybody. And then I was in second place.
Oh,
When they called my name, everybody was cheering and saying it was the real winner and all that kind of stuff.
And so, Scott, isn't that the one that ended in the fight in the parking lot?
Oh yeah, there was a fight in the parking lot too. Little dude,
right.
the fishing guide was a little sawed off little dude. He was no bigger than James Plog, and
and it got ridiculously out of hand because the drunk dude, well, the cheater dude who ended up getting drunker than shit that night, ended up on the stage and took the microphone from the tournament director, and then it went downhill from there. Everybody started yelling from the audience. It spilled out to the parking lot, and even the tournament director, he held up his fist, but it was one of the most embarrassing things I ever seen an old man ever do. Was
try to start
think he was going to get in a fist fight, but no, that was good. Another one though that Scott probably was there. It's been a while, and I won't mention any names, but this person is still out there roaming around, and he had a previous reputation for being banned from tournaments for cheating. He brought fish in to weigh in where the tails were just worn down to a nub from either being in a crab trap or from being tied up to a post somewhere or whatever the situation was. I mean, these fish were trapped for I don't know how many days, but all of the may have been 3 reds at that point that came in, but all of them, I mean, their tails were worn to a nub from scratching. Our theory was it was in a crab trap. Dude had a history for that. Surprisingly, I mean, it was, I don't remember if there were repercussions for that, except for, you know, the rumors that swirled around him for years.
That same tournament series, you know, we were all different winners, different times. You know, we were all, there was a handful of us that were doing really well. And then all of a sudden that dude showed up on the scene and started winning every tournament. Every single tournament he was in first place.
Oh, so you know who this dude is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who he is. He's still around. He's still around the kayak scene. But yeah, he was he was winning all these tournaments. Well, they decided they were going to put a camera out there. They wanted to put the camera with me and Dean because, you know, the entertainment value. But yeah, and we told them, said, why don't you put it with him? He's winning all these tournaments. Why don't you put it with him? They put the camera with him against his test. Suddenly he didn't win the tournament.
That's funny. Bad luck.
Funny how that went, you know.
But the camera's a real jinx, man.
Well, yeah, sure. In this case, for sure. But the other thing, Caleb, and I've been in maybe 15 or 20 tournaments. Y'all have been in so many more. But even I can go to a weigh-in and say, and look at a fish and go, nope, or look at a fish and go, yep. You know, I mean, it's like it's so obvious to the guys that do it. You know.
Oh, the guys standing down there. When you hold your fish up, we can tell you within a half a pound what your stringer is just by looking at them in a second. Yeah. But again, I'll digress to mom and pop tournaments versus actual tournaments. A weighmaster, he is going to see through you in a jiffy. Yes. That's what I couldn't get about the musky guys. Who the hell do they have weighing fish in at a major tournament like that can look at that fish and go, Yeah, that thing weighs, whatever it is. It's an extra
Yeah.
2 pounds. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
No, it was walleye, but yeah.
yeah, I couldn't remember what
whatever.
it was.
Yeah, it was a walleye tournament.
Oh, it's
And
harder to guess weights on walleyes. I forgot. Yeah.
No, I mean, it would have been easier on a walleye than a muskie.
Mhm.
Muskie's big.
Yeah, who's that idiot?
But yeah, I mean, a walleye it'd be like us doing bass tournaments or redfish tournaments. We all know what a fish weighs when we look at it. Within, like Caleb said, within half a pound to a pound.
But even the tails, even like the eyes and the tails, and
Yes.
Well, that same guy, we were doing a team tournament, and it was just a little beach tournament. Wasn't no big deal, just a bunch of guys get together on the weekend. Everybody throws $20 in the pot, and here we go. And his team saw his fish, and they were winning fish. They were going to win. And his team saw the fish and wouldn't let him weigh them in.
One eye, the other was all glazed over.
That was the tails again. The tails were just chewed off. They were
So how do they
chewed up by crabs?
Caleb, how do they do that when they tie them off? I mean, do they just, because the fish is going to start running into the post or the crab trap or whatever? Do they think that's going to work?
Well, first off, if me and my buddies had a $20 fun tournament, it would be who can cheat the best. There would be no honor amongst that tournament. In fact, it would be encouraged. Let's get this out of our system, boys. Man, I think they just take a stringer and tie them off to a stick or something. Hell, I don't know, John. I haven't done it.
Yeah, but I thought maybe you'd seen it.
Nah, I've seen the crab trap stuff. I haven't seen one.
Yeah, and so the fish is swimming around in the crab trap, and he's just scraping his tail, and that's how it ends up scraped off.
But sometimes you catch a fish in that scissor grass, and his tail is just naturally messed up looking, and totally.
It's different than chicken wire scratches.
Have y'all ever seen a trimmed tail in a tournament?
Oh yeah,
put pictures of them anyway.
Yeah.
There's one way to do it that I think it looks natural, and I haven't tried it, but somebody accused somebody else of doing this particular method, and I could see it like actually working. But
so what's
never in a million years are you going to make any cutting something look natural. I just don't think it happens.
Would they use some of them little craft scissors with them little designs on the little zigzag scissors
with the rounded ends, like little kid scissors?
Yes.
I'm seriously considering hitting the tournament scene next year, so I'm not going to put ideas out there how you could squeak by that one.
Caleb's going to be in that $20 a pop with his friends tournament, and there's going to come in a 12-pound redfish with no tail.
Yeah, you just got butthole and then gone. But he's going to weigh about 16 pounds. Alan Hall and Ryan Harrison brought in a fish from they were fishing the Galveston jetties as one of the PRLs, and this sucker had been hit by a shark and dang near cut in half. And we decided to let him weigh it in because, I mean, hell, all I could do is make it get longer. And with a chunk of the fish gone, it still won like second big fish. It was incredible. It came out to be like 27 and a half inches, and I can't remember what it weighed, but it was a heck of a story.
I don't get it. And sadly, all I do is the charity tournaments because I'm not a pro, but I like to fish in those occasionally. And man, there was another guy that actually got, the weighmaster did what you did, Caleb. He's like, no, and he was first place all the way. And the eyes were just a little glazed over. The tails weren't beaten up because it was trout, but the eyes were glazed over. It looked like clearly it had been frozen or whatever. And the guy actually said, yeah, yeah, you're right. I did.
Yeah, they should have put him in the bottom of the ice chest. I tried the guy that brought in that one with the red eyes. I tried to get all excited about it, and this was, like I said, it was like a local thing, so nobody really recognized me or knew who I was. I was just another guy fishing the Shriner tournament. Yeah. And so I got all pumped up about this guy, and I was like, man, you take a picture with me with that fish? I've never seen a fish like that. And dude, so the guy gave me this big long story how he caught it, and I was like, I just want to take a picture with you with that fish, and you could not get him to take a picture of that fish. He told me I could hold it and take a picture of it if I wanted to. I was like, yeah, got you.
Oh God.
You know, I didn't get him the Shriner Tournament Weighmaster. That I didn't get him.
What got all this started, for those who don't know, there was a kayaker that, or sort of a kayaker, not really a kayaker. He was in a boat. He was in a bass boat, and he was winning all these online tournaments where you do the catch, photo, and release. And he went to the trouble to cut out the seat of a kayak and put it on his bass boat. And then he would sit in that seat to take the picture of his winning fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's fishing from a boat.
I forgot about
Genius.
that part. I'm glad you brought it up.
See,
Yeah,
this is
he-
how my
man.
friendly tournament would go right there.
Have a kayak seat in the boat.
Yeah. So he got caught, and he's being pretty much blackballed from every kind of social media kayak group out there.
There's a part of me that kind of respects like the stick-to-itiveness, the ingenuity or whatever from these guys.
How far are you willing to go?
I want to have that guy on Angler U tonight.
There's pictures floating around of his boat with his green kayak seat cut out, sitting in the bottom of his boat.
Got a little bitty anchor. Got a little bitty-
Pretty wild.
He's got a milk crate, little bitty anchor in the kayak seat.
And we've all thought, we've all seen different ways of cheating. That's a new one, man. That,
Yeah.
that one was way on out there. That
All right.
sounded like Caleb stuff there.
Well,
I'm
Caleb would
telling
do
you.
that in that other tournament.
Oh, dude.
No doubt. Hey, is Louisiana fishing hanging on by a thread? Y'all saw this, I guess, this week. You know, the Pogey. Well, they had the buffer zone that was a mile, right, Scott? And
I
then
Half a mile.
Half a mile.
it started out as a mile. Then the governor did the I guess they compromised.
Half a mile.
There's
Yes.
a half mile, and literally, I shouldn't say everyone, but the overwhelming majority of people in the Louisiana CCA went to the meetings. It was standing room only. Don't change it. Don't change it. Don't change it. And they changed it back. They changed it back to, I think, a quarter mile now.
Quarter
or
mile.
something. A quarter mile now.
Yes.
I've been there when it was a mile. I've been there as a half mile, and those pogey boats couldn't care less.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
they weren't
they're-
listening to it anyway.
Yeah, they're up there dragging the bank. Whatever the rules are, they couldn't care less.
And if you're looking at the YouTube stream, our guy Franklin has a thought on this as well, which
Ooh,
which we
Franklin's
can't.
gonna get in trouble.
Stephen McPeak says that it's not final yet. But my thing about this is this is and Dean, we've talked about the salinity plants and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. I mean, I shouldn't say that because it does matter sometimes. But the special interests just they money whip people, man. Politicians, the industry executives, all that stuff. They come in and just start money whipping people. Like I never saw a single Louisiana CCA member or fisherman post that okay, it's cool to go back with no buffer. Basically, it's stupid.
Well, I mean, money rules the world.
Mhm.
Not a.
What's it
not
going to
a-
do though?
We're talking Louisiana too, man.
But what's it going to do?
It's declining, just like Texas and everything else. What magical point do you think it quits declining because you're special?
Right.
The part of the story that was just ludicrous was that the bycatch is not going to be affected by the a quarter of a mile,
Mhm.
and if you fish the coast of Louisiana, I mean, where you see the crazy videos that come out of the mega schools of redfish that are videoed, like that are just miles long, that's coming from the coast of Louisiana. Those nets, the pogey nets, how long are the pogey nets? Miles? I mean, they stretch for miles. And they claim that, the bycatch is somehow allowed to escape. It's just, but I mean, there's going to be excuse for every argument. There just is. And I mean, the fact that they keep allowing that to happen while other states have
Every other state, literally every other state.
has banned it, and then it's going. I mean, Louisiana has some challenges to face. Sportsman's paradise is their claim, and then this is how they treat it. That to me is just, a little bitter irony here for the sportsman's paradise to just get raped by the pogie boats.
Well,
the sportsman paradise is letting the pogie boats rape them. The sportsman paradise is letting all the private landowners where you can't fish most of Louisiana wreck them. The sportsman paradise is letting the Lake Charles parish, whatever I guess it's like, I don't know what parish that is, but letting their sheriffs run people out and write them criminal trespass tickets for fishing beside where guides are fishing. Louisiana is a cool place, and I love it. And I love the people from Louisiana, and I love the food, and I like all of it. But they are screwing it up in a pretty big way, and it's sad because that's
where
not
I am
in the United States to go. If you ask me, if you didn't have a wife or kids, where are you moving to? I want to move to the boot tip, but it's sad, And I saw Frank Lee wrote on here LSU football and pogie boats. I'm just going to use context clues and say that he's talking about things that suck and don't have any hope in sight.
And he's talking about the governor getting involved. The governor got involved in both of those. Fired everybody at LSU. Yeah, he fired everybody at
LSU.
Yeah, I don't know. But he fired them all. The governor did that. It's a different place. There's so many eye rolls here, Scott, that for me, and I'm sure for you, but the biggest eye roll to me was when they were, and this was a government official that said it. I don't know exactly who. Well, the bycatch is released safely.
Yeah.
Safely.
Sure it is.
I've seen dead fish roll off those boats. A lot of them.
Yeah, there's videos all over the place. I've got a buddy that guides over there, and he sent me a video way back when this was kind of first becoming a real problem. Just miles and miles and miles of floating bull reds. And here's newsflash: bull reds are where we get baby reds. And they keep killing them at the rate they're killing them. They're going to crash their whole fishery over there.
Yeah. No, and Caleb, you're right. I mean, we talked about it about 2-3 months ago. Even their own research, which I'm sure was presented when this was talked about, says, "Hey guys, that's why they lowered the limits." Like, hey, even Louisiana, which you never thought they would, admit or want to lower the limit, the science told them the numbers are going down, and so there is a line somewhere, even in Louisiana.
I can't speak much for 2025, but in the 80s and 90s. I was around a lot of the politicians from Louisiana. They all came and hunted on our ranch, used my dad as a guide and all that. Back then, it was a pretty mobbed up situation, and it was all about dollars. I don't know how it is now, but back then it was about dollars and greasing this guy and sliding money around here and there. And like Dean said, pogie boats make money. I think Frank said it's $1 billion industry. It's tough to fight. I can't believe we won the desal plant thing in Baffin. I didn't think there'd be a snowball's chance that would get shut down because there was already brother-in-laws called to do this and put your contract in here, and you're going to be a subcontractor to this. And that's the unfortunate way about how the whole world works. I don't care if you're talking about fishing, football, anything.
I'm not saying that it's the same amount of money as the pogie industry or here the desal plant or whatever, but there's a lot of money that you just can't put an actual number on in tourism, and fishing is tourism, especially down south, especially in Louisiana, well, everywhere. But I think that's part of the problem. They're like, well, how much money would we lose from tourism? I don't know. People just go,
I want to say that, man, I can't remember exactly, but the Redfish World Series in Lake Charles brought in like an estimated $17 million in a week. But
it's estimated, it's organic. It's sort of,
Well, what I'm saying is I don't completely trust the person that told me, so I'm just going to call it an estimate. But either way, it seems there's a lot of money being infused there, and then you got your sheriff showing up to the captain's meeting and starting fights, and then starting a thing all weekend. The Redfish World Series will never be there again. The BASS tour, I think they pulled out. That's what I'm saying. A big part of their revenue is us coming over and buying licenses and hotel rooms and ice and gas and coffee and all that kind of stuff. And they couldn't give a dang less.
Scott, you got anything? Because I can't tell you how many millions of dollars comes through Rockport and Aransas Pass, but I know it's millions. And they're just, if that was happening here, they'd be losing a lot of that.
It's
There's
the only
studies
damn
on
thing
that.
that brings money here.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Port O'Connor wouldn't survive without the
Mhm.
week. All the locals complain about the weekenders, but without the weekenders, this place would go belly up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a weekender, although I feel like I'm more of a Ramses Passian now, whatever they call themselves. I go enough times to do it. Hey, Dean, one little comment here that I think I want you to comment on from Arthur. I chartered a guide in Aransas Pass who took us to the same places we fish. Now I'm worried about going back and seeing him and have him accuse me of stealing his spots. Am I overthinking things? First of all, this wasn't you, was it?
No. Did you see my
I
see
did.
my reply to that dude?
Yes, I did.
Screw that guy. You don't own that water out there. You can kiss whatever you
I
They
went-
can do-
twist
I
it
went through
off.
the same scenario whenever I started fishing with Wayne Davis down in Mansfield, because I'm pretty sensitive around trout guys, man. Redfish guys, I'll talk a little trash and maybe misbehave. Trout guys, I'm on my best behavior. They're sensitive little fellas. But I've fished Mansfield a heck of a lot. And man, me and Wayne went out and hit like 4 or 5 spots one day and then 2 or 3 the next day. And I was like, oh shit, this is all the places I already fish. And I was worried about the same thing, man. And
Mhm.
then I realized I was overthinking it because there's no way I'd go down there and go wade fishing without Wayne. So we're good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess sometimes you can maybe take your boat down there, but
I thought about it for a while, and then I was sitting there and I channeled my inner Dean. I was like, man, screw Wayne. I'm 44 years old. He ain't taking me nothing secret.
yeah.
We'll be good.
All right. So there's another topic that's been on here for a month that we're going to kick down the road again, because this is one that I wanted to get to, and it's probably not as elaborate an answer, but we had a listener. I'll read the question. I'm going to start with Dean and Scott here because I think they've probably got a little more experience on this. Maybe not, Caleb. No offense. I was re-listening to the podcast on the healing powers of fishing in the water. That's a show we did a while back, which, by the way, you can listen to them all on Podbean if you subscribe there. And I kind of want to do something similar to what Scott mentioned. I was thinking of having someone with a boat take me and my kayak out somewhere that I could primitive camp and kayak fish and just get away. I was thinking of the area around the Matagorda Lighthouse. I feel like y'all have also talked about places like Cedar Bayou. Basically, I just need a place to clear my head and sort of reset. So first of all, glad he's doing that. But I don't know if we've ever mentioned, like, if you want to just get away, no people, drop me off on my kayak. Is there like a top 3 or so, Scott, and then Dean, and then Caleb, that you would just like drop me off here?
Cedar Bayou would be a good choice. Not as many people get there. Years ago, it was a lot easier because you could get away from everybody because nobody traveled that far. Baffin was a long damn ways from anything. You could go down there, disappear. Now everybody's got boats that run, 60, 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour or plus. And they're much more reliable. So people would venture out a lot more. But I would do that, or kind of that area that I was in is around the mouth of the Arroyo River down South Padre over by Green Island, Snake Island, all that area, Rattlesnake. That's where I camped out.
Mm-hmm.
It's still somewhat quiet down there, I guess. I haven't been down there in years, but like Cedar Bayou that would be my choice probably at this point.
Dean, you got some experience with this. Just get away. What would you recommend?
Man, there's not too many places on the Texas coast that you can get isolated. I mean, from wherever you go, it's going to be some boat traffic on those kind of places. But you could easily go to Allen's Bight or Mud Island that we visited, you and I, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to go there, a cool place that I used to take, we camped out many nights, that is accessible from the road, is we launched along the causeway, paddled It's about 3.5 miles across South Bay, across the edge of Lighthouse Lakes to Quarantine Shoreline. And it's a big shell bank. And man, we spent many nights out there. And during the day, so no matter where you go, during the day, there's going to be some boat traffic. There's going to be people going by. But when the sun sets, there's nobody else out there. I mean, you got that place to yourself. There's a boat, the Skimmer, over in Rockport that goes to Spalding Point with Spalding Reef to that area. And he it's kind of like a prearranged thing. You do it by appointment, but he takes people over camping trips, groups, to camp over on St. Joe Island on the shoreline. And Spalding is this big shell point that pokes out from St. Joe. St. Joe shoreline does have Mud Island with a high shell bank. Allen's Bight, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Next time I'm going to show you that one. But beyond that is Spalding, which is straight across from like the Copano Bridge. It's quite a few miles from the bridge, but it's a big shell bank that pokes out into the bay. Most of the shoreline is, mangroves and mud, not a lot of really good camping spots. But Spalding is one of those places where people do camp there. They catch rides and they will spend the weekend out there. It's pretty cool. But there's places, without that much logistical issues that you could park. Right there on the causeway. And Quarantine Shoreline is, back in the Boy Scout days, I used to take those kids out there. We spent 4 days and 3 nights sleeping on that shoreline. And it's a spiritual experience if you spend 3 nights out there on your own.
Rattlesnakes and everything else. Caleb, what's that place? I guess it's the west end of East Matagorda Bay. And a lot of people drive from Matagorda on their 4-wheelers back on that, I guess would be the South Shoreline. Now that's relatively busy, but I was thinking about Matagorda. That might be about the only place I can think of.
Yeah, you're talking about 3 Mile. And the thing about it is, we were camping there. There's old bras and underwear and condom wrappers and stuff everywhere. Not exactly rustic.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not saying I'd be the first one to camp there.
If you want an experience you won't forget, a great place to camp is the west shoreline of the upper Laguna, or maybe even Mansfield, on any of the King Ranch or Kennedy shoreline. That right there, when you're in court, you'll really remember it.
When you're in the hospital,
them dudes find you fast over there.
How do you know this?
Not me, but I know people.
Yeah.
Why don't you just rent a floating cabin down in Baffin and hang out there for 4
Dude, that's what I was thinking. I'd love a little houseboat, just get in the middle there and just no one will come around.
It's like camping without mosquitoes.
Yeah. Well, there's that factor as well. Yeah, because it wouldn't be as bad. I don't know. I mean, it is, but not as bad.
To go out there and like recover or find yourself or whatever you want to do, does it really require you not having air conditioning? Because if it doesn't, then all them floating cabins are pretty solid.
Yeah. Wow, this one flew by. Go ahead.
One of those floating cabins during the week. Me and my dad did it, a buddy of mine, and we saw one other boat the whole weekend.
Yeah,
that was 20 years ago, but
there was one not long ago where we are, Dean. There was a houseboat out there that just stayed there for probably a couple of months. I guess it was last year. That would be kind of cool, to be honest. But
I'm actually going. I got a buddy of mine. I'm going to link it up to the Facebook page. Who has a cabin in Baffin. If you need a ride, he will shuttle you out there, leave you there. The cabin is amazing. I'm going to link it up to the Facebook page if anybody's interested.
Perfect. Perfect. That's what we're here for, man. All right, we kind of hit on what you guys were doing this week and some of the places that you would fish. But if you do have any, what would you do? So the weather is kind of taking a turn back to the warmer side. Caleb, you got anything going on this weekend, and what you would do?
Ah, man, I was looking at it. personally, this weekend I'm gonna be in College Station yelling at some Gamecocks. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Right. That's right.
Taking the kid and his friends. My mom had turned his
Just
70
don't twist
Friday.
them.
Yeah, well, yeah. That was oddly timed, man.
I think I just caught you off guard.
We need to improve our timing and delivery there, John.
Yes.
But man, now I was looking at the forecast, and the thing of it is, it's really hard to mess up this time of year. At least up here where we're at. You want to go mess around in Back Lakes. You want to go drift. You want to go wade. The wind looks like it's like 10 to 15. I don't think you could screw up. You can go do any of it.
Yeah. So Scott, he talked about the wind, some of the temperatures and stuff. What's it looking like? What are you thinking?
Yeah, water levels are going to be going back up, boys. So we got tonight into tomorrow, 20 to 25 mile an hour straight south southeast, and then it holds around 15 most of the rest of the week.
What? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, 12, 15.
Are you looking at the right
all
forecast?
southeast.
Saturday is going to be what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Saturday is going to be blowing.
Saturday's not bad, 13 to 17. Yeah, not terrible, but what it is going to do, it's going to push that water back up, and temperatures are in the 70s, sunshine.
Whoa.
Water's going to heat back up. Tides are going to jump back up above normal again. So I would be looking in the Back Lakes a little bit more.
Okay.
And
we got 30 mile an hour winds overnight tonight.
Yeah. I'm looking at 30 to 37 on Saturday in the afternoon.
Apparently, Ding did not believe me.
Why? Why does that have to happen?
I don't know.
That's what I mean. We're in that time of year where it's gonna blow like hell in between the fronts. It's gonna blow like hell when the front blows through. Then we're gonna get 2 days, 3 days of dead calm and sunshine, and those are the days to hit it. Everybody got all excited about this last one. I saw some posts about it. Hey man, the water's gonna drop out. It's gonna be a dump. It's gonna be what head northeast. Wasn't gonna happen. And it dropped, but all it did was drop to what was predicted.
Yeah. Well, it's a good weekend for have my granddaughter's 3rd birthday, is what it sounded like to me. And
Just
to go hunting.
Don't take her fishing.
Don't take her fishing for her birthday. Go ahead, Caleb.
Oh shoot, no, I'm just November's a good time for birthdays, man.
Oh yeah. When's your birthday?
Mine's the 20th. My mom turned 70 on this Friday.
And today is Natalie's birthday, but the party's on Saturday.
And so what are you going to do to raise some funds for your birthday, Caleb?
Man,
yeah, man.
Hear me out. I've got this idea. I'm gonna put my PayPal out on the social medias, and every one of y'all that wants to be my buddy got to send me $5. And there's like 4,950 of y'all, and I'm gonna call every one of you on my personal page a poser if each one of you don't send me $5. Because that's what you do on your birthday when you're in your 40s.
Yeah, that came from a local guide. Who actually has done that. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did.
I'm not knocking it. I think it's brilliant.
You would.
All right, boys. Fun show, rapid fire show. Don't forget Angler U tonight, or did you have it already, Caleb?
Yeah, no, it's tonight. Tonight at 7.
I just saw you post something else.
Tillman from Galveston. Yep.
Okay, and Captain Dean, Captain Scott, book our guys along with Caleb. And
I do have one public service announcement.
All right,
do your Christmas shopping early. We got new inventory for the shootouts. Everybody should have a shootout drift sock in their stocking for Christmas.
Yes,
it is the perfect stocking stuffer.
Let's do the Christmas specials, because you reminded me of one that I'm going to post this evening. But go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, Dean, you should add an accessory for sale too.
A rope, I know.
I've heard. Freaking rope.
But I'm going to post tonight.
Never seen a boat without a rope in it.
Some assembly required.
We should start a trend.
Oh, did you just put it on your boat without a rope?
Okay, so here. Boat ramp confessional time.
That's
I did indeed have a boat. Drag. I did indeed. Well, I sat there and stared at it for about 3 minutes trying to figure out how the heck I'm supposed to make this thing work. And then I tie my one rope that I have on it to my boat, which duh, you have a rope on your boat, dumbass. and then I blew the drift sock out of the boat, so now I don't have a drift sock or a rope.
Oh God. God almighty. Well, I know a guy that can help you. And he's
You're
having
gonna
a
be, you're gonna be
having a-
drifting fast.
He was drifting real fast. And I'm going to post this tonight or tomorrow morning on the group page. The Bite Me OG special. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's going to be for Christmas. You get the 5-panel rope trucker hat, a cap, the hooded SPF 50 fishing shirt, and 2 bottles of OG sauce, $25 off of retail. That's me doing a sales pitch with free shipping. So it's like $120 value for $90. So take that, and I'll post that link at some point. But you guys, really, really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
I got an
Go
idea.
ahead, Scott.
So
Apparently, Camille has something.
Okay, go ahead, Camille.
I want to throw in a section of a piece of rope with every shootout.
This big.
Yeah, I'm gonna give me a spool unrelated to the packaging.
This little
bonus
6 or 8 inches.
bonus
We got
rope.
specials, man. We got
With
specials.
every
If you order in the next 24 hours, you get a free gift.
But wait, that's not all.
All right, my turn.
Mm,
So if you are a Houston firefighter or a Houston police officer and you are a veteran, which there's a lot of them that listen,
mhm.
I will be at First Baptist Church tomorrow. Check your emails. You got a notice from the city on it, but we'll be there tomorrow from 8 to 11 for a first responder veteran breakfast.
Awesome. Do you know where is it now? Do you know? Well, they can look at their link too.
Yeah, I know it's one of the First Baptist Church. I think it's 1700 Smith.
Okay, so downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's perfect. Well, there you go. We did a public service as well. You can get the shootout. You can get the Bite Me OG special. You can go to breakfast tomorrow if you're a first responder and a veteran. Appreciate you guys joining us. Fun show, fast-paced show, which I always like. You guys have a great week, great weekend. Happy Veterans Day. Catch them up. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, so my Venmo's at Cap Caleb TV 44. It's a big year.